Hey guys, Randy here from our Cozy Garden, and today we are in our front yard. I am here because I am running out of space in our backyard, and I will need more space for our filler plants, bouquet filler plants. I'm also making 2 new garden beds right here, and these garden beds will be for our filler plants. I will have in here statice. We have a lot of statice. I did not expect to have a really good germination rate on that, but that's a good problem. So I am planting them in here along with our celosias and then some other bouquet filler plants that I have not planted yet. So yeah, and in here will be our 2 new garden beds. Some of the plants that I'm planting in the front are actually edible, just like the amaranth and the sunflowers. So to keep the bunnies from eating them, I'm putting a short fence around the new garden beds. That way they won't get into the plants. And I'm using these T-bars as posts for the chicken wire that I will be placing around the perimeter of the garden beds. In here I'm able to fit 2 garden beds which are 8 feet by 2.5 feet, and in between is a 2 feet wide aisle so that I can bring in my wheelbarrow if I need to. One thing that I have to consider when making the garden beds in the front is to plan ahead where to put the gravel that I will be taking out from the front yard. So I decided that I can use my back parking, or at least part of it, for that purpose. But before I do that, I have 2 of these raspberry bushes that I planted about 2 years ago, and the plan was to plant them in a plastic container and then bury that plastic container under the ground so that the top level of the plastic container is just the same level as the ground. And the reason for that, if you've tried growing raspberries before, is raspberries can be very invasive. They can run their roots outward from the mother plant, and then from the roots there will be suckers, and those suckers will be their own new plant in a few months' time. However, based on this planting, and I would say that was 8 inches deep of plastic container, it still did have suckers all around this space. So I'm taking them out and I'm keeping them on their individual containers for now so that I can stop the suckers from growing all over and taking over this area of the garden. But before I'm moving the gravel from the front yard, I will be putting down a weed barrier. That way there will be less chance of weeds growing through the gravel. And I know it's not 100% weed proof, but I think it just helps it make it easier for me to clean the weeds from the gravel pad, especially that this parking pad is open to the back alley, and there's so many weeds that grow in here, especially seeds brought by strong winds. Now that, I think, looks much better. I have a lot of these tulip bulbs that were from the tulip cut flowers that we had this spring. And I know bigger cut flower farmers just throw them into the compost. But for me, I want to give them another chance. A lot of these tulip bulbs are actually big healthy bulbs. So they can either decompose in place, which is not bad since I find that this part of the front yard can use more biomass in it, or they have enough energy stored in them so that they can grow by spring next year and perhaps even flower. Today is June 29 and this is how our front garden beds look like. So here are the status, apricot, and some of these are actually mixed with whites and some yellows and purples, and they took a while before I was able to transplant them, so we only have this bloom or budding for now, and then we have the gladiolus, which are growing strong, although I don't see any buds yet. And these are the snapdragons, which we did not have space for at the backyard. Looks like I need to clean these lygus bugs out. And then some more sunflower seedlings. So we have pro-cut plums, pro-cut white knight, pro-cut red in there, and then in here are the amaranth love lies bleeding. I think it's become partly shade in here with these trees nearby, so that's why they're growing really slow. And then our amaranth green tails. then some more gladulus in there, and then some more status. And in here are poppies which are budding up, almost ready to bloom. And these should bloom in the next few days. I think that was the pink one. Pink peony blooming poppies. These ones should be the red. And finally, we have the basil and tomatoes. No buds yet, but are growing along just fine. And that's where our front yard is right now. And thanks so much for your time. Until next video, Randy here from our cozy garden. Have a good day.